Assalamualaikum everyone. This is Professor Kashif Mohammed Khan. And along with me, I have my distinguished colleagues, Dr. Sajila Rabbani. Thank you for coming today. And Dr. Mohammed Nawaz. तो आज जो हम जिस टॉपिक पे बात करने वाले हैं बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है and I think it's the need of the hour that we talk on this topic and try to find some relevant solutions. Topic is bridging the employability gap. Business education in the age of skills, innovation and opportunity. पाकिस्तान में मेरा ख्याल है वॉर्टन स्कूल ऑफ बिजनेस बैक इन द 1950s एंटर हुआ था IBA के साथ and that's when the degree of business started. So we have a lot of history. We have produced some amazing alumni. They have gone all over the globe and mashallah Pakistanis can be found almost everywhere. हम एक मेहनती कौम है, हक हलाल की रोजी कमाने में बिलीव करते हैं, अपॉर्चुनिस्ट हैं और कोशिश करते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा मेहनत करके अपना नाम और मुल्क का नाम रोशन करें. थोड़ा सा मैं इकरा यूनिवर्सिटी के हवाले से, कैंपस के हवाले से, इस्लामाबाद कैंपस के हवाले से बता दूं कि we started back in 2002, so it's almost like 23 years and we are placed right in the heart of Islamabad. We have a very beautiful campus. Business administration department was among the few very first departments that started, and we have mashallah graduates and alumni almost all over the globe now. सबसे पहली class April 2002 में I was there and alhamdulillah still here and I have graduates जो mashallah इस वक्त तकरीबन उन्हें 20 साल हो गए graduate हो गए. So इस वक्त currently business administration department में we have ADP program जो कि 2 साल का है and then we have a BBA program जिसमें उसके अलावा business BS in accounting and finance and then we also have business analytics. MBA में हम HR, finance, marketing, supply chain, project management, data science में masters कराते हैं and then we continue with MS and PhD. So current इस वक्त जो World Bank के estimates हैं पाकिस्तान के हवाले से उसमें यह है कि 1.7 million लोग जो हैं वो enter करते हैं job market in Pakistan each year and almost 500,000 तकरीबन 5 लाख graduates जो हैं वो almost 250 plus universities से निकलते हैं हर साल. In unemployment rate is 5.47 है according to PITE. 31% of graduates are jobless. So overall, तकरीबन 1.5 million people are currently jobless. So इस हवाले से it's a very important topic कि हम ऐसा क्या करें कि हमारे graduates जो हैं वो job market में जैसे ही enter हो उन्हें job मिल जाए और वो कमाना शुरू कर दें. So इस हवाले से I have my distinguished colleagues here with me and firstly मैं Dr. Sajila की तरफ चलता हूँ और उनसे पूछता हूँ कि Dr. Sajila, what do you think are top skills employers might be looking for in business graduates today?
Basically, sir, according to our scenario that is being changed, so what we should look in the business graduate is the most important skill that I must say is adaptability. Adaptability with the change that is constant in our environment. Specifically, अगर आप इसकी बात करें, so it has been initiated by technological changes. So main challenge that is being faced by businesses is the technological advancement, and overall globally there are certain financial issues and the changing mode of different things. So we must say that the adaptability is one of the core skill that must be there in the graduates.
So this is something very important that you've said that हम उसके लिए तैयार नहीं होते बच्चे. तो ऐसा क्या institution को करना चाहिए बच्चों को when they enter a university कि वो change उनके अंदर एक उसको accept करने का एक मादा आए और वो खुद से उसकी कोशिश करना और या जस्तजू करने की कोशिश करें. Do you think there's a gap between जो intermediate से बच्चा आता है और फिर अचानक यूनिवर्सिटी एजुकेशन में आता है और इंडिपेंडेंट हो जाता है, तो उस ट्रांजिशन में कुछ किया जा सकता है?
सर उसमें तो एग्जैक्टली जो एक चेंज एक शिफ्ट है स्टूडेंट की अपनी एज में भी आता है, एक वो टीन एज से निकल के एक यूनिवर्सिटी के अंदर मेच्योर पर्सन के तौर पे आता है. सो ऑल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल इज ऑन हिज और हर ऑन. सो इन दैट केस वी शुड मेक देम इनेबल कि वो सेल्फ लर्निंग की तरफ जाए, सेल्फ अंडरस्टैंडिंग की तरफ जाए, सेल्फ इनिशिएटिव की तरफ जाए, knowing how they can manage the changes. They might have different personalities, they have different backgrounds. So, according to that, how they can adapt with the change with reference to their own propensities they do have. So, iske accordingly जाएं. And then digital know-how is one of the most important thing that is there. So they must transform, learn how to catch up with the things, how to go in learning by themselves. What are the modes of learning that they can adopt by themselves? Personal development की जो बात है वो की है सक्सेस के लिए. अगर पर्सनल डेवलपमेंट पे फोकस होगा स्टार्टिंग में ही, दे वुड नो कि मैं अपने आप को कैसे चेंज के साथ इक्विटेंट कर सकता हूँ, तो डेफिनेटली थिंग्स वुड गो इजी विद द पर्सन.
So I would very quickly, because I think it's a very important question, थोड़ा सा हमने टाइम इस पे ले लिया, but अपने adaptability की बात की और self learning की बात की, and I think everything is available on the internet. And अगर बच्चे में ये बात को, unfortunately हम स्कूल फीड करते हैं, बाहर का बच्चा जो है वो 18 साल की उम्र में जॉब पे निकल जाता है, बल्कि उससे पहले ही, और उससे एक्सपेक्ट ये होता है कि वो जॉब करेगा और खुद कमाएगा और खुद पढ़ेगा, तो वो एक सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी उसमें ज्यादा होती है. डॉक्टर नवाज, आपसे एक क्विक सवाल है, ये एडीपी प्रोग्राम जो है जो इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया लेटली, व्हाट डू यू थिंक इज द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दैट इन द करंट इकोनॉमिक सिनेरियो? व्हाई शुड अ किड join the ADP program?
Thank you. I think ADP program is a bit short, and if we see it in the sense of cost and time,
Yeah.
so and economic conditions of the country and people, when we see the statistics of the poverty in the country,
Yeah.
so in that way it is feasible for the students to learn for 2 years in the university, and they can go in the market and they can easily earn better, and later at later stage when they go mature in the organization, when they have the experience and exposure, they come back again and they can again join the university in order to promote and polish again. And they, because universities have the avenues, they have the option, there are the options of the bridging semesters, and
Right.
they can join the universities in order to complete their BS and MS as well.
So I think that's a very good input. So unfortunately, we see that when a kid comes here, he wants to first do his BBA, then he wants to do his MBA, then he wants to do his MS, then he also wants to go into PhD, whether he wants to do it or not. So Dr. Sajila, a very quick word, because you are very much around young people most of the time. Would you also advise that kids should initially come for ADP and go in the market for even, let's say, a semester or two, or 6 months, and then come back? Would that add value?
I think, as my colleague Dr. Nawaz has said, that it's also good that they should opt this degree with reference to the cost and all the dynamics the students have. So they can just experience the learning in university for the 2 years, and then after that they should actually witness what is going on in the industry. So they may be able to relate whatever they have learned in the classroom, is that being applied in the industry, where it is applied. The correct science of basically business education is lying in the industry. So as we say that labs of physics, chemistry and biology are there, the lab of business student is, I guess, industry.
Excellent.
So we must give them the chance to experience whatever is going in that lab. How can that experiment the things that they have learned? So when they experience that thing, they must be able to understand the things later when they come for a bridging degree, or might be they must understand what are their own choices, what they are experiencing, what they are learning. They can better align them with something that might be, a student might have started with ADP, accounting and finance, but when he or she would be in the market, in the industry, he or she would may understand that he can go for some other sort of degree like BBA, like another thing. So they can also choose wisely for themselves, so that a person job fit, or we must say a better passion in the individual can be instilled. So this is what I feel about
I would like to add a little bit.
Yes.
That when they go in the after completing their ADP program, after 2 years learning, then they go in the industry and they join at start level jobs, entry level jobs, and they learn how to earn the money.
Yeah.
And in order to get the higher positions, they when they come back again in the university for learning again, then their scope and their maturity level increases, and
Absolutely.
they strive for the next level to get the higher level jobs, strategic positions, and they make effort really.
I think that's some very good advice given by my colleagues here that if students come in the business program, one of the primary places where they can learn or the lab is going to where the work happens. So you should, if you don't want to leave the degree, that's all right. You should go for an internship. You should see what's happening real time, and that would add a lot of value. Okay, the next question is something which I would like both of you to give your input on this. We talk a lot about soft skills, and a lot of training is given even in the corporate sector at sometimes mid-level employees as well. So, what role should soft skills, which can include communication, leadership, emotional intelligence, play in business education? And Dr. Sijla, I know you teach courses in the HR. So especially what is emotional intelligence and why is it so important that a lot of these soft skills are focused around it?
So as we see that all organizations are dependent upon people.
Right.
So if we eliminate people, organizations cannot work, even they have a lot of things. So if we talk about people, they cannot be detached from emotions. So you have talked about emotional intelligence, a really a burning topic across the globe, and you can witness that the leaders who are on the top positions, they are very good in emotional intelligence. Whatever they are, their background is from finance, from marketing, or whatever. But the main thing that they have is the emotional intelligence. So why emotional intelligence is important for the business graduates? Because they have to deal with people. They have to bring the strategy into action. And for making the strategy into action, you have to persuade people. So if you are not understanding people, you are not understanding what other's perspective is, what the other person is feeling. So how can you get the other person do the work, or how can you motivate the other person? So this is how emotional intelligence becomes so much significant when we talk about managers and business leaders. And similar to that, if I'm not wrong, emotional intelligence is also leading towards problem solving, because in emotions you are not able to understand what real problem is. So if you are emotionally intelligent leader, you are able to understand your feelings, your colleagues feelings, your followers feelings, your top management feelings, and the business around that. So you would be able to catch up with the requirements that are there. So that's something important.
Thank you.
That you've said.
I just remember one of the research that I was studying that they said those employees who were given training on emotional intelligence, because of their general behavior that improved in the organization, that almost increased the gross profits by almost 0.5% just by introducing emotional intelligence, which is taking care and understanding. Dr. Mas, would you like to add something here?
Yes, actually, when we talk about entry level, that it gives the exposure to the trainees and the new induction, and they follow these things. When they come for learning in the university, then they learn these skills actually in order to implement in the industry as well. And for their promotion and exile for the higher position, these are the basic need, because they judge your communication and the top manager your leadership skills and emotional intelligence. How do you work with teams, and how do you cope up with the others as well? So this is actually the main thing which become the reason to excel in the higher position for strategic positions.
And I just realized that most of us work around students, and we realize that those kids who either are doing some sort of a job or are participating in the class by being part of some sort of a social group or club, we see a lot of confidence in those kids.
Yes.
And their
Yeah.
communication skills improve,
Yes.
their behavior, their attitude, their dealing with other students. So I think for young people who are listening to us, I think it's very important that when they come to the university, they should make an extra effort to be part of these clubs
Yes.
and these
Societies.
groups and these
Yeah.
And
societies.
we do have that. We also
And-
have a lot of clubs and societies.
Yeah,
And
so ICRA is providing that
yes,
kind of
that
opportunity.
platform is there.
And I think when these young people should join, they should find out. I'm sure they will do find out, but they should participate actively because that brings a lot of transformation.
Yes.
And we sometimes see these kids. I remember one of the kids coming from Kelashway,
Oh.
and he was flabbergasted. He was overwhelmed because he had not seen young people working together in such a manner. And sometimes that can be such a powerful or overwhelming experience that you want to run away. But I think if you can somehow sustain and stay and work in the organization, that can really transform you. So the universities can play a very strong role in shaping your personality.
And they do get persuasion and negotiation skills, which is very important for business deals.
Yeah,
Whether that is of the strategic level or the middle level, persuasion and negotiation is basically an outcome of a good communication and emotional intelligence. So we must look for that.
another important question that I would like to put in front of both of you are, what are some of the emerging technologies that business graduates should be familiar with? And along with this, I would like to add, do you think AI is a threat or opportunity for business graduate entering the job market? Because there is a lot of videos coming from different experts. AI will take over the jobs. AI is going to threaten the future of the existence of mankind. A lot of jobs will definitely roll out, and we are seeing
We are
some of the examples through things like Chat GPT, and now we have apps that can transform pictures into videos, cloning of voices. So all these things are there. So what do you people as facilitators and teachers see that what are some of the emerging technologies, and what is the role of AI, and how should young people be looking at it?
Actually, whenever a technology evolves, generally it has sometime pros and cons as well.
Yeah.
At its own place. Okay, but when it comes towards its usage, that matters that how positively or negatively you are using that technology.
True.
Okay. So as far as the AI is concerned, so because we are discussing about the students and for the youth,
Yeah.
so that's why it is very important if they are taking it positively in their learning, in their practice. So this is very important. It is making the things very easy for the people, and it is bringing the youth in front of in developed nations as well, in order to find the people that who can do while sitting in the developing nations.
Right.
I think it is making, it is differentiating them even from those youth or youngsters who are already well aware in the developed nations.
Great. Yes, Dr. Sajida, would you want to add something?
Yes. Basically, a business graduate is adaptive person because business environment is always changing and technology has a big impact on businesses. From production till the services, so we have the technologies across. So the main thing that is important with the business graduate is they must be acquainted with the new technology. For that, we have also taken an initiative that having a lot of IT content related to different courses in our curriculum as well. We are already practicing it in all of our courses. If I am talking about my area of specialization, that is human resource management, we are already keeping different types of softwares which are also AI enabled softwares. So if you are going in the software, managing the team in that software, so you would find out the skills required for particular strategy. You can even add the objective and you would find the people across that. So it is not only, the technology is not only saving the time, but it also giving the creative outcomes, solutions to the managers that they cannot think by themselves. So this is my perspective about technological adoption, and that's good enough. And your other question is about the AI. So there's a fine line in experiencing the AI as ethical outcome for us, the ethical perspective of AI, and the benefits that it is bringing to us. So I agree with Dr. Nawaz that we should know the positive and the negative use of technology. How can we better get something out of it without violating the ethical standards of our society as well as across the globe. Now there is a concept of virtual workplaces. अब जहाँ आप बड़ी कंपनीज की बात करें तो आई वॉज जस्ट वर्किंग ऑन मेटावर्स. तो पाकिस्तान के अंदर भी कुछ एजुकेशन सेक्टर है जो मेटावर्स के ऊपर अपने वर्चुअल क्लासरूम्स और इस चीज़ों को ट्रांसफॉर्म किया जा रहा है. कुछ हेल्थ केयर की ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है, दे आर डूइंग द वर्चुअल वर्क प्लेसेस. And I guess Unilever in Pakistan, they have a wholly functional virtual workplace that is known as Metaverse. So using the technology at its peak.
Wow.
So everything that you can experience at workplace is now in that technology. No physical cost of having the office space, no ACs required. The people are just the parts of that metaverse as their, you can say, avatars, and they are doing that. So I guess that's important. We have to catch up with that, and we are trying.
So I think some very interesting feedback by both of you. I think I was recently in the US and I realized that most of the people there, after the COVID, don't really want to go
Yes.
to the workplace. They want to work from home.
Yes.
And somehow this has become a very big issue in the US. In Toronto, in the main downtown, there were buildings where you could not find a room. Now they are unoccupied. So they are saying that we have to bring in people again because that's hurting the economy. So in certain ways, yes, AI has its lots of benefits, but it has brought some of its negativities as well. But you're absolutely right that at the end of the day, a lot of ethical and moral questions would be focused to the individual, that how we want to use this technology, because we are looking at scams which are constantly increasing at a very alarming rate, and we need to understand how these scams work. So understanding of technology is equally important.
The other day, I was just checking on how youth is basically using AI. So I found an interesting answer from the research papers which are going on, that youth is using AI for their mental well-being as well.
Wow.
So that's good enough. But when we talk to the AI about that, what do you think about that? If AI is dealing with you as a psychologist, so they say that I am missing the hug of the psychologist. I'm missing the compassion the human can give, the emotional transformation that I can see my words on the psychologist's face. I cannot see that. So although this is being used, but on another perspective, youth is also criticizing these tools. So this is a question of moral as well as the personal choices that you have.
Very interesting, very interesting. The AI is telling us
Yes.
that you go back to the humans because I will not be able to provide you the human touch. I think I wanted to ask you people this question, but I think in some ways you have already answered it. What changes are needed in our current teaching methods to close the employability gap? And I think you have already said things about adaptability, things about self-learning. Similarly, you just mentioned how AI can work. So I think adapting yourself to the constant changing technological advancement and being open to it and being prepared to learn it on the right time. So both of you, a very quick question, that do you think within the 4-year degree, the student can also do something beside what is happening in the university to enhance his skill sets? Can a student do something on those lines?
Yes, they can use their part-time, the leisure time in self-development. So first they must understand their own psychodynamic system, what they feel about world, how they can interact with the world, how they should learn. So these are basic questions which should be there. And my own experience is that the students who are well aware of their own strengths and weaknesses, so that's very important. If they are well aware of their strengths and weaknesses, then they can find the opportunities. They can find the right thing for them. So self-development should be
So
there.
knowing yourself.
Knowing yourself, and then meeting the things that you think you want to get for yourself. So finding the ways, check the job market, how the jobs are announced, what is the changing are there in the market. We also teach in the subjects. We actually, whenever I teach in my courses, I directly go to the websites and then take them to the recent trends of the jobs. So they must know which skills are there, what the things are lying outside, what challenges are there. So they must be acquainted with that.
So I think, Dr. Sejila, I would like to add something here, and Dr. Nawaz, I will take your point as well. That recently we had this institute coming to ICRA, it's called PGSA, so it's a Pakistan Japanese association. And the lady who comes from there generally pushes and focuses about learning Japanese language. And because the Japan is facing similar shortage in population
Yes.
as most of the European countries are, they think by the time 2050 would come, they would lose almost 80 million or something close to that amount of population. So they need people coming from different parts of the world. So I generally tell students that these are the kind of opportunities which we should not miss, because it's not about going for education, it's basically about learning the language. And the things that you have said, try to become adaptable, try to learn more about yourself. So I think there are already apps there, apps like Duolingo,
Yes.
which teaches you day to day. It's very comprehensive way of learning, very smart digital way of learning. You don't feel like that you're learning, but you learn a lot. So if kids can learn this focus, that what do they need, as you said, and I generally do sometimes in all my classes, I ask them to make this vision board. And there's the career path, and there's what you need to do in social angle of your life, and what do you want to achieve in your life. When they make that, they suddenly realize how far they are from these goals.
Yes.
And this suddenly pushes them to, align themselves to a certain focus. So I think all these opportunities are very much there for Pakistani kids. And I think there is an opportunity if you learn language N5 and N4 level, which you can do in almost 8 months' time, you're good to go to Japan.
Yes, it can make them competitive and distinctive as compared to other countries, developing countries, those who are trying to go there.
Yeah.
And even there are examples if you see and find that in German, in Finland, they have their own languages. Whenever students got admission over there, they cannot get the job because they are not aware of the language.
Excellent.
And there is a language barrier. Therefore, this is the biggest avenue of Japanese to go Japan. So I think the students should go towards the languages, and they should focus even while using the because we are talking about the IT. So we have the platforms, the avenues we can sit while in home, and we can learn a lot, even without paying.
Even without paying, which is remarkable.
Without any
I don't
cost,
think.
and while without any cost in moving and wasting the time as well. Okay.
So I would like to add something.
Yes, please.
When we are talking about that learning different languages, this is not only for students' own education and for own development. The thing is the opportunities. Now the customer is global customer. He or she is not in a particular geographic market. So when we see that now economy is a gig economy, there are freelancers, the concept of business process outsourcing, for that to deal with different clients, to capturing different markets we should have. For example, if we are dealing with Chinese suppliers and we want to get the things imported from China for our own things, if you are well versed with Chinese language, it would be easier to explore that market, easier to negotiate, easier to persuade, and I guess that would be an edge on the part of the person who is bilingual or maybe multilingual. So that would be a skill that multinationals would be looking. So a global mindset and a multilingual person, I guess he or she can be unbeatable in the market.
I think we would like to talk a little more here about the languages, because you have said something amazing, which I was talking to one of my friends who worked in Saudi Arabia for the last 12 years. And he was telling me that if somehow you can speak excellent English language, written and spoken, and you have good command of Arabic, So Arabs would always come, they are getting educated in the West, but they would like to come and sit on the top.
Yes.
So the work has to be done by people who are going to work under them. And if somehow you can learn the language and master that language, they will not leave. So in a way, you are ensuring your job market in that part of the world. And then if we look at how much investment is pouring in Saudi Arabia in terms of entertainment,
Yes.
in terms of tourism, and in terms of artificial intelligence. So that's where the place is. So I think it's very important, as you have mentioned, Germany.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids go to Germany. German education is almost free in the government sector. But as soon as these kids go, I've joined some of these groups. I've got a son that age, so I was looking at those things, and every kid is crying because he doesn't know the language.
Yes.
You were studying here for last 4 years in this country. Why couldn't you teach yourself German language?
Yes.
There are institutes around. There are free
Yes.
platform, free
By
platform.
sitting
I
in the
think
home, yes.
this has never happened in the history of mankind.
Yes.
So you have a tutor who will teach you free. So I think the universities
Even
also.
university have the platforms. They can sit in the libraries. They can sit in the labs. They can they have the tools as well in order to learn.
Free internet,
Yes.
amazing air conditioning
Yes.
available.
Yes.
So I want to add, I just have explored different softwares on languages which are not only teaching you the verbal side of the language, but they are also telling you the non-verbal things.
Wow.
And how you should express your facial expressions.
Yeah.
When talking in Arabic or when talking in Persian,
Yeah.
you must have those expressions you have. One of my students was from Afghanistan in somewhere else, and I was working in somewhere else. So I had experience of having that child, same expressions that we do have.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that how he has learned this excellent Urdu and expressions. He just mentioned, I have a group of 10 friends and I was a good learner. I have copied them. And that's
Wow.
why I'm a very good learner. I can just copy the emotions, the facial expressions Pakistani people do have. He's totally like Pakistan.
Unbelievable.
So if you go for learning, you can also copy the non-verbal cues,
Yes.
even the eye movements of the other language people. You can also understand if you are a good learner. There are softwares available.
So that shows that there is so much available.
Yes.
It is your keenness
Yes.
to follow what is being taught, and you can achieve amazing results. In certain ways, I feel when we as Pakistanis go abroad, our kids generally are more adaptive because the language is very rich. So we can pick up that kind of accent very quickly, and we can blend in those cultures. Excellent answers so far. Dr. Sejala, a very quick question, though you have covered it in a number of places, but how important is continuous curriculum revision in keeping education relevant?
So for this, the continuous revision is basically inevitable. We cannot avoid revision because business is changing because of other factors.
Right.
Things are changing, business landscape is changing, business practices are changing, leadership things are changing, dynamics are different. Now, the person who is digitally literate is basically the person who is excelling. So, in curriculum, I must say that we have to be adaptable with the industry. As industry is totally changing, we are not those type of teaching those type of courses which have the just classical history and we can just go in those details and just repeating the things that are the part of the history. The thing is, now we have to look on the future. So business future is changing, the landscape is totally changing. If you see, even our old curricula, if we see, I'm the teacher of leadership, if I see the books that are in 2018, they are totally different. And if we come to 2020 version, we see examples of leaders nowadays, how they are now. Like we have been looking at Henry Ford or we have been looking at Steve Jobs, but now the things are changed. Now the thing is Elon Musk and people who are doing some innovative business that we even didn't think. So this is how the role of curriculum is very important if we have to be adaptive with the business environment. So the curriculum should be very recent. We should add the recent case studies that we do also have that. but we should also enrich our studies with the latest trends of the business. What is the now investment perspective of the business? Dr. Nawaz is expert in that finance. So previously, if we see on investment, you have to go to the stock exchanges, you have to find some brokers and then go in the investment. And now what's the investment scenario, Dr. Nawaz? People can have different apps.
There are apps, they can invest by sitting in their offices, in their homes, and even while walking, they are investing and they are watching the market. So what the trends are going on, either the market is going up or down,
Yeah.
and they make the decisions while on the walking track and jogging, etc. So this is the avenues and opportunities actually they are using while living in the country, while staying at home, while staying in the office. So they have the avenues.
I think, Dr. Sheila, you mentioned very interestingly, and Dr. Nawaz, that they say you should make money while you're asleep.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
So, as you suggested, that books of 2018 have drastically changed now when we look at books that are published in 2020 and onwards. And people like the leaders who are thinking of autonomous cars, taking people on, moon, transforming businesses in completely different ways, which we had never ever thought. Operations being conducted by AI while the doctor is sitting, thousands of miles away. So some amazing transformations are happening. I think we are living in a very interesting time in the history of mankind, where we are seeing, I have seen those black phones, which, if you used to make a call, we had to wait, and somebody would give you a call from the US, and now you can see the other person immediately. So amazing transformations from that perspective. I think people should be at the same time very excited rather than being very gloomy and at times being very afraid of what will happen in the future. Though we are reaching towards the end, but I think I have one or two quick questions from both of you. So, Dr. Nawaz, we have seen latest trend that we see figures like 1.5 million Pakistanis have left in last 2 years, and a lot of people think of it as in a very critical manner that we are having brain drain. How do you look at it? Do you think it's a very positive sign? And what is your advice to students who want to follow this path?
Okay, I think this question is a bit political, economical, and other aspect as well.
Okay.
So if we see the economic situation, so people sometimes, and the youth particularly, because they need the fruit very urgent, so they do not wait. They are feeling that they are getting hopeless, so that's why they are leaving the country.
True.
And if we see out of these, the people who have left the country in the last 2 years, as you mentioned, 1.5 million people.
Yeah.
So I don't have the idea that how my status related to the students. How many students are going there for their studies?
Right.
So if they are going for their studies, it's a good thing, and they must learn from the developed nations and the better nations, and they come back, because we have already discussed here that we can do everything which is demanded in the world while sitting at our hometown.
Right.
Okay, so because we have everything, we have internet, we have other facilities, government is even facilitating the things. So I think for the learning purpose they should go, but as far as it is concerned that they are going for the permanent residency and the things, this is the other picture. So, but as far as the country is concerned, while sitting here, they can be entrepreneurs, they can create the employment, they can contribute in the tax, and they can increase the GDP of the country, and they can alleviate the poverty in the country.
Excellent.
Because as you know, because being the entrepreneur professor, so you know better than me that one entrepreneur can give more than 10 or 15 employabilities to the youth as well. So if you can do that while sitting in the country, then why you are going outside?
So I think that's a very interesting point that you mentioned. A lot of people actually left because of hopelessness. But if you look at globally, the picture is not so bright in beautiful as it used to be.
Yes.
So I think I've met kids who were earning £3,000 in UK and they said, we want to go back. They're doctors,
Yes.
but they can't afford good lifestyle in UK, so they were still wanting to come back. Similarly, I've heard from people in Dubai that if I'm not earning this much, then it's better to go back to Pakistan. So you're right in the face of this digital age that since there are opportunities, we can do the same kind of work sitting anywhere in the world. So why not in your own country?
Yes.
You know,
And
and
even-
uplift the country in the process.
And even if you may know that these countries their economies are melting
Yes.
as compared to the developing nations. So
I
this
very-
trend, many of the the youth who are trying to go outside, they actually do not know the actual picture.
Yes.
What is going on in these countries and what are their economies currently, at what level they are actually.
I think that's
They are melting, yes.
That's a very good point, and a lot of people who are in the business of sending students outside would not let you
Yes.
know that fact.
Reality.
Yes, reality.
And I generally tell students that if you are going to invest this much amount of money,
Yes.
you know if the return is going to come or not. So if you invest that same amount of money and work consistently for next 3 years, you can grow your business here. So I think that's a very positive point that you have shared here. Do you want to say anything regarding this, or should I go to the last question?
I just want to add a little
Yeah,
thing
please.
that Dr. Nawaz was saying, that the people, the students now wants to get a quick money. So I was studying about the generational differences between millennials and Gen Z, the work choices that they do have. The motivation factors that we have been using on millennials is no longer viable for Gen Z. They are not committed with any organizations for a lot of years of their life.
Yes.
What they want is a quick catch up with their lives, to sustain their lives. What they feel now, they say that it might change after some time. They also say that by themselves. So all of the students that we experience are from the Gen Z, and their preferences are very different. They do not expect from the employers that they would take care of them as our forefathers, and we have been looking to the employers that they should look over our careers. What they say is career adaptability. So I would change the career, that is known as protein career. I would change the career with reference to the changing environment, and that is very interesting about Gen Z.
Yeah.
They are so exposed towards different things, so aware of the avenues that they cannot be like tie up in a profession as well. They have different avenues. They change the careers. So this is very interesting about Gen Z.
I think that's something we should have discussed at the very beginning, and you're
Yes.
so right that it's going to be very difficult for people of our age to be able to understand how their mind works. They
Yes.
were born with all these gadgets in
Yes.
their hands. They were exposed to this amazing set of information which is connected to the whole of the world. So I think they are very different mindset of people. And at the same time, they know how to make money, you know.
Yes.
They know how to live their lifestyle. They are able to make that money, so they are more independent. And that's an interesting phenomena that we will be seeing over the years. But I think we as elders should also be open towards that changed mindset and and see how we can help them out,
Yes.
gauge their own pathway and future. Since we are coming towards the end of the time, a quick question would be that alumni are one of the very strong part of any organization, and we see alumni can play a very positive role in the employability of students of a particular university. So, any particular suggestion, idea that comes to your mind regarding how alumni should be engaged and how we can, somehow remove, close this gap barrier of employability for the students.
So we are already working on that. Our alumni mentorship series is also out. We have different sessions on that. So the main benefit of the alumni series or learning from the alumni would be transfer of knowledge. We can see that the seeds that we have planted to their minds, did they witness the same tree out of that in the market, and how it has changed from what we have taught them and what we have trained for them. So that experience that they do have in the market, with reference to the knowledge that they have taken over here, is basically the experience that is of worth to share. They must share their thoughts with the students who are already in the degree programs. So they would tell them how they have navigated in the market,
Yeah.
having the same knowledge and the skills acquired from the same institute with the same faculty and the same services. So how they can transfer that knowledge practically.
I think that's a very good point, Dr. Sajila, you have mentioned here, that when you see
Yes.
somebody who has sat on the same seats,
Yes.
gone through the same process, but now he has reached a certain place in his life. So students can sometimes relate more with those people
Yes.
and be able to see, okay, they have been able to achieve it, I can also do that one day. So I think we already have a very positive employee engagement with our alumni. And I'm also recently discussing, and we are about to start podcasts with our star alumni. And we would love to bring and show our product to the rest of the world and inspire our young students. Any last suggestion, Dr.
Just there, because we have the alumni association in the university, so I think the MOUs with them, as well as the alumni gatherings, with the passage of time, I think it would be more influencing and motivating for the students while studying in our university.
I think with this we come to the end of the time. If we have any questions from our listeners, we would take any questions. But today's topic was bridging the employability gap, and it was focused around business education, the Department of Business Administration, and we had some very interesting talk. And some of the giveaways today were that students need to develop adaptability, students need to engage themselves more with the industry, and they should have the focus of self-learning. And if somehow we can put all these things together and have an educational institution like ours, which can help these students to grow, I think you will not have a problem in finding the right kind of employers. With this, I thank my guest, Dr. Sajila, Dr. Nawaz, and my audience. Assalamu alaikum.